Ghana for a hotel normal family send a very powerful message to politicians out there. And then Akufo-Addo lose, and I think that the multiplicity of factors. One has to do with the president Nankasa, his arrogant posture. The very moment Akufo-Addo set up, he set himself up to fail. When you do that, you lose willpower.
The president of Ghana will be one of the presidents that will walk away from the state house with a lot of shame and a lot of anger from the court of heaven, unless if he will repent. But if not, starting with him to his descendants, no one will ever rise up from his family into state house or into prominence. Even his party, as he leaves the office, it will take them many decades to return.
This elections, Mahu said a lot of people are jubilating on social media, other platforms. They said this is no jubilation, but if you do understand the critical state of Ghana woman, you only go on your knees and pray. Akufo-Addo and his government have messed up this country. So I think, sir, the Electoral Commission and the judiciary, we need to do in-depth review of individual because their continuous stay will continue to dip morale in our democracy. I think over the years, now I'm on front politics. I say, we how I cash and I dream chin and me NDC, me who cover BM cry. We should have a team, me NPP, me who cover BM cry. When you take such position, Alaska, in the political scheme of affairs, such person you become useless.
Okay. Because
vote to see them first. But when you are dynamic, you can change your mind. Based on conditions, I want mind ultimate total because I know they you can change your mind based on happenings in the country. Political sense, and that person is relevant. What has happened?
It means who you should agree.
Yes, because a constant way. When it comes to determination of election outcome, as a form, any impact be our elections. So anything I catch us say, almost elections, and as we determine who wins power, I will kruma the floating voters.
Sure.
Because the NDC, the NPP, core supporters, Obian who are the core supporters, bet you are winning power. But there is a section of Ghanaians from floating voters. They look at the dynamics. So if you're able to sway them to a particular direction, they will win you the election. I think what happened this particular year, it justified that particular way. And the political communication issue structured targeting those people. Because the last time I catch you say this retail kind of campaigner over here na candidate na sorry na okoni base na anajo 1 anajo 2 na ye shia among for constituency na for no. I'm hoping say going forward ye besua bibi because that is the way of doing things.
That's right.
Old way. But I think that there are a lot of research dynamics about politics assistant niema bebra. You don't need to meet people 1 a.m., 12 a.m. now because such message you deliver and come baby. Come for Obi Obetimi Gina constituency 1 a.m. at chain presidential candidate, that person is already a party person. No, yeah, but Obi a floating voter in Yada Jim Konko Gina time no say or 1 a.m. deliver a message.
That's right.
And the way they do that then the message delivered at the grounds and come baby. So it's a waste adventure and that's some kind of way away. But and then America so US elections now. Abrana major media houses in Trump he was using the new media. For instance, there was this Rogan Trump Cotton in the podcast or YouTube. He was able to he had a views of about 45 million people. Even CNN 3 days we will not get that particular views, right. You understand? So you saw that media and he was able to appeal to young voters and then as a forum. And I think going forward, we need to structure our campaign systems. Our old way of doing campaign. No, it doesn't work. And then there are several platforms that will be and I think that to a certain extent, message now, as I said 2020 advocacy across Oklahoma campaign. I'm finding your margin now.
That's right.
A advocacy, yes, such emotion. Some of us even started even before and a campaign because we were insisting say Ghanaians need to understand politics. Now kwanya abayano abrabo bonia abayano de Ghana for bosso ne abrabo mobo but enam say yeah that emotionally partisan attaching into sa nneema nyina ye botugu ye but from 2020 ebesi ne you could appreciate say a lot has changed so far as politics and is concerned. Young people. So Alaska, who be some factors are added this particular way by medical say the course a NDC victory, a Ghanaian victory. Ghana for in one accord have decided say enough of this nonsense. That is why I told you say a revolution without a gun.
A revolution
without a gun. That revolution.
Tsunami
without a gun. Ghana for decisively and overwhelmingly have decided say Nema I play out our this particular country. Enough of it. And they are also sending a loud message to Abina Wabane say, what would the idea you know? I have good anymore support no. Obana bedin semhuna, that is the fate awaiting you.
Okay.
So I'm sure say it's a good news. It's a Ghana for a hotel normal form. I send a very powerful message to politicians out there. And then Akufo-Addo lose you, and I think that there is a multiplicity of factors. One has to do with the president Nankasa. His arrogant posture. Ni subain, ne kwan of us or yeah, the catcher said the very moment Akufo-Addo set up, he set himself up to fail. Because in this modern, your friend saying democratic dispensation, Yewomi, Alaska, a young class, some say, when Yadia Kunyama, now Kaka fear for me. When you do that, you lose willpower.
That's right.
Willpower, and said the ability to crack down on. Before say general manager, word, I your own opinion. And I want to you have only me a one, I will take console. You think so, many opinion, general manager, after all, then the basic. Now what's the other wood in some Onusa nam say we ni nua na ye onu nti ontumi nka.
That's right.
Nti woni ba ahoso no, o da bia pon akonsole ba kon na de kofie. Woni ba ahoso na otutu speakers na sefo nyina de ko because unu epanyini na te wo. So that willpower and you lose the leverage because after all, we are there ontumi fa police mechewo.
That's right.
Woni nua na ye wo, eto de dia. That is why in the wisdom of those who have studied politics no e catch us say chronism, family and friends, those we know. We are president na odo ho kotuma. A killing something we call willpower. But we are president of our culture. None of American state cannot be weak and cannot be have mercy.
Exactly.
That state in America a representation of the president because you are the executive force as a will lead that. So when that weakness you are done. Other people around you will begin to do some of these things. And they know, and they're there, the Akufo-Addo Abaiма who send a camera for Rata, Bossabi and Kwasi, Abosin will be a Kenyan assumption now. At some point, the company and an advisor, our Jessica Film, banking sector cleanup by Ghana for the money to say, some of us have studied policy. We've seen a lot of some of these things because there is nothing new under the sun.
That's
Bible
right.
Nakaya, or 2008, our America, they had similar banking sector challenges in Asifo. We saw the finesse and the wisdom the Obama government then adopted by ensuring credible firms, or Musika from the Treasury Department go out there and buy the distressed assets. Make sure you stabilize them so that people will not lose their job, so that there will not be tsunami. Chase Bank, our America, yes, and JP Morgan Chase, these are credible banks. They bought all the distressed assets. I know the day, and then from the mind can other way. So when Baumia and Co started this particular thing, that was the same thing we were expecting. Say, make sure you don't kill the bank. But by your name,
that reference.
Exactly. So Papa Kwasindum now also what's in the bank. Now Sikane Womno didn't say Muna. You have every right to pick Papa Kwasindum as an individual. You deal with him. Any legal malfeasances via our committee, you can deal with him, but don't kill the bank. Because I said there is nothing like private bank.
Exactly.
There is nothing like private bank, and in any country, for the very moment you open your doors and public comes in, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure the economic safety of those who are investing. So government to no private bank. So but omontie and omoye near Masa na Alaska ekoko jigu ye. But President Nankasa Alaska. My culture say a to be arrogance of power. So we are buying. That's all times I don't know the taro who no. And that's exactly what Akufo-Addo did. Alaska, so Kokumasia, your friend constituency be Kwabre.
That's right.
I'm told the constituencies in more biggest numbers.
The largest.
Akufo-Addo went there. And Medoko Kumasi says, yeah. Now no na me come na me na beku Santana yesho na me say me ka say me share obi and me be say enti over the years from Kufuor pencil be say Akufo-Addo pencil the Kumasi people have been very grateful to NPP. Nti me pese me hu Aye, idea some book a see a wokumasi, a say NPP buy, and over ya dear way my. Ko anya shame, Minister John Mahama Hesi Kejetia. Yes, Rotary Park, ne, wine hospitals are hold on and so forth. And dear no, yeah, Nipa cross Kufo maternity. Nama say Moyana mo bodam. Alaska, the sea come for not in a crown, or no farm pride in a home. Now I could see maternity, Papa Troll be there, quite baby, and a year achievement. You see the joke? So, over the years, you know, the people have been taken for granted. I need
for far too long.
For far too long. So when he went there, now we as a quabre for some kind, Mr. President, there now by and so we unions are now catch romo. That is what differentiates a gangster from a leader, a president. Oh yes,
a gangster.
That is what differentiates a gangster from a president. A Nipana to Abamano. Because Akufo-Addo was an imposter from the beginning. He's a fraud theory. President, no, it's like yeah, movie. Not your script, a man or who play. That is not who you are. And your role play.
And Obia, he's not what he is. No,
yes, or a role play, no, because he knows nothing about presidency. But at that moment, you find wisdom and sell to the people, even if it is a lie, you just to show respect. He told them that so indirectly he was telling them this is people are not for about my president at for Alaska. Kwabre for we kokrumuti this time around. Go to Kumasi and check the vote. Go and check NPP's performance. And I mentioned says the reason why some of you have to take your first credit for all this advocacy akoso because the message young people team ama omoyi ya wo metumi me ma me wo fasie nie sa grass 7 na ya politics no amamfo asase yifrim. That is why you see those numbers. And one thing I think say boy me maka say Ashanti region over the years numbers na free hoba nyina e cook numbers.
Sure.
And I'm expecting say me kasatia regional divisions na se for no why but say Akufo-Addo why any 16 say per say any 20 I think that Ashanti region say team 3. Yes, team 3 na emu na ho na development nko kro no kra ka bom dodo. Now things will make development. So Alaska, sa niema na omo ekeka boss wa ekeka bom no. Eno na ka ho bi titiro and ma Ghana for ka said no. Papa we ebu nipa mfere nipa because beka ya obo dwadata ama ohini bi betena ase. O se ye bo anthem. Ohini na nsore. Alaska you see say uko school na wo mature na say u onim die do a certain level na say u gina badwama even say obi ya de kra na nya there are ways what temperament na over react. You saw the video.
I don't know our Akra
president was throwing childish tantrum indicating say he's all powerful. Unfortunately for him or he no crisis had no yare no the can but function na say for several hours president. So by the time president better say no omoye de omoye na nisu chiri no, so he had no other option than to sit down. The following day president ko no ye bo national anthem than the bagina phone so he couldn't even caution her. That is the level of embarrassment. At some point in time President Akufo-Addo ko Volta region in Suafa nipa we are making arrogance and quan settle.
That's right.
Or Volta region in Suafa nipa when to go munsem at that point and I'll call remind you of say mekra na ka vote nkwa. When the Okromo himself voter region to our my baby. So you don't need to go there to remind them at the time and the people are in pain.
Meanwhile, through action and inaction of
exactly
government.
It was an accident. Nipa na da se car se maybe nso agum so. Because they knew the implication of what they were doing. They knew that omubia na be boroso the spillage will go to that extent. They knew nobody did any risk assessment bia and yet you go omoso. Until you don't go there and say at that point a sign of immaturity, but he displayed it. The same voter region, the guy goes to funeral, I him for tete fine, maybe a sen sorry, but on one sorry as a leader, it is not your business to go and direct them. I'm sorry, even protocol team now signal be now go country was a president ba Alaska then sorry now Mr. common sense. But no, ofri say o mine yes ne maame na ewu no de jano, se ne papa na ewu no de jano. Se ama power na wanya na emma we ye da wo se de yo. E na sa se bi enkrase sema ordinary no, you don't expect opinion over here. That is what he displayed. Then you're back to the economic front, Alaska. Ghana economy wa hefa. And that is why when I see people on street jubilating, yes, changing now, but we are jubilating. But Alaska, me say the future looks so bleak and uninspiring because of the economic circumstances. Ghana for them must say say Alaska. Say you would minority, how we are aware. Say Ghana, you declare bankrupt. You're doing to you postpone it. Your debt, I had external creditors in your push quite anymore. Alaska, you have able to some of the debt will mature early as 2026.
Exactly.
The amount of money we are to pay, we don't have them. So the new president will have to brace his heart, go to IMF and renegotiate.
And he has even hinted.
Yes, because that is the only way out. And yes, apart from IMF, he has to go to the credit space and renegotiate the already negotiated terms with your creditors.
So that you must have some breathing space.
Exactly, yes, you can do. Because Microphone, argument will mutiman say, Omabo Mina, or more people cutting in question. So inheriting, you are inheriting a disaster. That is why I'm expecting say the new government, Alaska, Adiaba over the years, a buying beer power and a real free because be a copy not communication front not breaky. And I know the day some of these things because you need to let the Ghanaian people know and understand the real state of Ghana's economy.
I'm not cutting you so, but I stated it here yesterday. Say you should open the Pandora box.
Oh yes.
Now, every sector of the economy, Ghana for
and
fellow Ghanaians.
Yes.
On your fellow Ghanaians.
Alaska, me say energy sector alone. I assume hono Alaska. We say omoto about we that be omo yedum so.
That's right.
Because your power, your generation mix, I think say you 5,316 megawatts. That is way peak day. We have about 3,700 there about. Alaska generation mix, Ghana yeah wom 50%. Then the IPPs, the independent power producers 50%. So that generation mix and the Maya. Yeah, the omo to a tune of about $2 billion. And this so now ugly. Chinese wave no only. Yeah, but talk about no crack could do more plant. What is a finance minister or no more agreement?
That's right.
Because ECG has no control over this. Because the Omoka no more could do plant, ECG when power no on and Ubenebi now watch it, but they off the entire plant due to one light in a doom. And now I buy lose power. They don't even know their fate. And until I who doom so no cause because they didn't resolve anything. See, I'm not say. As I know, John Mahama bottle say, okay, power we need the Omoka. And he created that fund. Now the other is a Sikaba Toma. You let us form a consortium of banks. Now you one as a leader. And the Sikaba toss our fund in Numa. Alaska wouldn't do anymore. When a doka, when a dear Kayanji Mosa. I could for the buy a mobon quasi abusian in area, and I can offerata Comogeji, the Esla, and on the Kwaja Bosia. And this Sikabi about Esla Numbiano. Paying the energy sector with empty and I pay for the mortgage. Then so Obakaya now saying yeah the get fund over the years. Oko secondary school and yeah the talk house man guy. Come and the get fund they say get fund to mean talk get fund to mean provide anything for students. That is the state. So you need to paint a picture skill description of Ghana's economy. Sabaya people will not be overexcited. Say yeah buy now but yes yeah baby no. There is no room. And unfortunately for this John Mahama administration and Ghana for Niati brutal.
That's right.
And it is not business as usual. Even though 2016 was president, but the stakes has changed. Social media and other platforms are heightened, and you can't do anything in secret. And you have to be very transparent and let Ghanaians know. Say, I'm not saying your debt to your GDP numbers now who are artificial. But at some point in time, World Bank projected now you over 100 and something. Alaska, that is the reality. Your debt to your GDP, your friends say cost na ankasa, your debt to ankasa. You know the amount, and then over 700 million. Then you come to the fact say, Afibia Sika the service your debt, your jai, your twin to your eboabo no, your besiamba. We need to go back and renegotiate with China. You see, I'm not credibility. What they call Bobosia or credit score as hang junk.
Only
affordability. Exactly, that is the right word. I Ghana for better say affordability. And the Bobosia wouldn't be. Alaska Bank of Ghana for the first time in the history of this country. Bank of Ghana to be boka over 60 billion Ghana. Say a bin see that in the history.
Bank of Ghana auto day.
Now, we don't count on mobile. We don't say as I have board members no more da no no to 500 your friends say 500 million each 500 million as allowance for say ya boka over 10 over best 60 billion a BC that
or not one or two and allowance.
I to good watching yacha mom. Now I won't say a bill iPhone.
That's right.
And dino musisi where the Honsa me that. So Ghana for what is Obi Kanku for Asama, Obi and Tino. Papari di Pabonini. Yes, that was why the last time I made catch Captain Smart say. Nyankopon ni bedino or Jim or Pejana dear or Yin and one daje.
Nyankopon in another bedino.
Nyankopon
or Jim
or Jim Pejana dear because Alaska Bonia Papa dino. This was shin and so bear 4 days.
What did on you?
What did
an NPP for young Cassandra? And you know something, Nadia on social media said. Oh, such as a very assessment to Betty Swaba 16. To Betty Swaba say.
Nadia yet so there is no price coming down. And the Fatu Ghana for team. Because a near man say we price stabilization Albania and they will talk about 10 cities. I know what you say over 7 cities.
I don't know what say at the end. Yes, said the catchers and Jenny
Alaska. Now NPP party no. So who said the party is here? And oh, sa we be a obono, a bank bemede, or sophobia or case. Akufo-Addo is one president. Obeko fie with a lot of shame. Now man for free say politics. And ngwase na efia papa we die ko na all kwatena fie no Alaska.
Okay.
Thank God chose like King Ahab has turned his heart from God for material blessings. He has turned his heart from God and has sold the destiny of the nation. So the president of Ghana will be one of the presidents that will walk away from the state house with a lot of shame and a lot of anger from the court of heaven. A lot of shame and a lot of anger from the court of heaven. And as long as God lives, unless if he will repent and change some of the steps he has already taken to put the nations into the jaws of the enemy to eat. But if not, starting with him to his descendants, no one will ever rise up from his family into state house or into prominence. Even his party, as he leaves the office, it will take them many decades. Not that the opposition will come into power 2 terms and they will come back. It will take them many decades to return, because the nation of Ghana is one of the beloved of God. But as it is now, there is an exchange in the realm of the spirit. So even the nation of Ghana next year 2022, there will be a lot of chaos in the name of demonstration, in the name of strike. There will be a lot of judgment on the nation. People will be dying anyhow. When it rains, the rain will rain with judgment. When the sun comes down on the earth, it will.
And anytime we are met our body away, no, Alaska, what shall say body away? You know,
almost 2 years.
And go for a young Safua, at least they will learn something from this particular prophecy. Or say, not or can say. President in the best son again. Na Jama Nebuchadnezzar Sam Naya Kao. Or no, near Abjin such a biao baby. Akumiana Otisono, he never thought in a way about. And nothing in the sort. So, in Alaska. Second part of it, the aircraft soon also no one say Mugana for Kahon. Because I was set up. Net Quayam far some coffee about me and the buyer. Now they were seeking to insult everybody. Baumiana Kufado at the center for. A mamu born in Semuna Cosu, Momienu, and no more so ye. Now, Okotia Taba, Quentin Nebaso, or they know your mate ya. Another day, you are insulting everybody. Not opinions and me some fan about Tana. What's Uncle Fanapo? Now, maybe that's a low crew money. I can say vice president in Napo. Ah, Alaska. I cannot Guinea Grand Campasoni so. Guinea. Over that sorry, in a your vice president. So
now, Odim Osana Mose, Yamia Duma, Mina Mayor in charge of DDEP.
Yes, serious. Alaska, and I make us a young mama presidency, no, at a form, I'm a fiamba home. So any person can just wake up and say, Miss Representative President. Because in a serious country where we are pressing problems, now you expect intelligence to come to bear, no? You will not go and pen a poet, your friend saying, Baumia, now Omujina, platform so and I make us a nyansa kra sign count so we omo posture ya say enwom bi sisifia na se for them no ba ku ya say nyankop yes and I you see
as a mamia
yes
you see
Alaska we nyansani we are incumbent looking at how a minor fair no Alaska you don't go back and put out such behavior but I'm say obia is so arrogant. And then na me ka about we team no set up no Alaska. This is a guy of a president too. Are the powerful way our party no. Look at the NPP as a political party. Na ofa obi amana your communication person you be lead the team na. Boy no yourself anything.
Miracle, Dennis Miracle.
Yes. Alaska. This is a combative arsenic guy. Alaska, you see president
combative arsenic.
Yes. Alaska, you need somebody who is very intelligent, somebody who has the ability to be dynamic, maneuver. Because you see, communication, you know, me say, me platform because we has a way of communicating.
Exactly.
Who you sit in the studio has the way of communicating. So you should be able to change that kind of stuff. But Alaska, we are talking about a presidency. A lead communicator. You will need him to be appealing to a certain intellectual class. So I'm asking you, sir. Professor Jampoti, University of Ghana. Na onyen decide nipo ba to abama no. Na ohe TV. Na yesi ba omiya spokesperson. Ela ye Baraka Abuaje. Na onkasa na unconvince prof no to abama na. Alaska, we need to get serious.
Only me that me was a boy that Baraka Abuaje onim nyansa.
Okay.
The deal oka say so no wood infrastructure ebe ye camp obe 20 hour. E ho na me hu say because so once you hospital, I will Abian Kraya or latter and benefiting. I hope I'm so.
No, Alaska, I can't say you can't fake intelligence. If you are not wise, you cannot fake to be wise. And see, don't blame him. That is his level. Now, his kind of communication, yeah, to certain I buy no, I buy more. That communication, you know, sometimes when you need defense. And as I get near the opposition, your friend is saying party.
That's right.
But when you are in power, your posturing, that is why. NDC about power, the communication, your friend saying, posturing, language, the tone, everything needs to change drastically. Exactly. So you are no more in opposition, you are in power. You need to manage the relationship between you and the people out there.
The level don't change.
But when I make us who's that Ghana no so obi opposition, with the team, the very moment they get power, then me say power has a way of sucking wisdom out of people's head. The language will change, the tone will change, and I'm for and I cover before no. So sometimes about when I'm for to tia abayano. Eya na nya policy din as for sao. Enkrofo bi no ho ahi because of kasafi ne kwa amfa so conduct omo ho no. Eno nko no can contribute to your defeat. So I think that these are lessons are going forward, you know. Alaska I listen your course so this year. Some transparent and conventional reforms and mental report. Me say many better 1,000 pages.
Oh really?
Oh yes. Because in Nema Bebra, Metinchana me say the things that I see and the ketwa, but Nipa no gusu yo and they don't see say even some because my Samara Krabaje appointed that making. I'm not sure that till date. NPP for Cray realized it was a mistake. I'm not sure.
Oh, they are even praising him.
Good. Bringing on Napo as a running mate till date, I'm not sure that because how can anybody on his right senses? Alaska, yes, a council of state in the year, you know, and last time was a council of state in Omoyam Kramaranti or Feno Mosiso, and Omoyam Kokrafo and Omoya Dang. Because Hackman, yourself, very Hackman,
Hackman opposite.
This I'm penning for yet see among Canadian cry. And think this I'm penning for a common Nancy could hear wisdom. But Alaska, oh, Kasawa media so I said you crack Kenyans a same chance I'm penning for way. Because with him as a council of Addo in Alaska, one I want to go near be a cost where we should be bold enough. The last time I made catch about the messes in America.
That's right.
Trump abai said a drawing you not Trump and a year babada. I wrote on the Hunya, you know, then Onya call from Bob Mesa, say Omra, or America, that's a certain time that they because they call the shop. Somebody out there more powerful than you can never be, even though you are the president. You need to go and listen, and yes, sir, they can all make you. Steve Bannon, these people just a phone call, and then he ended up in prison because they cut him. But Alaska, you know, who's a man, Bessin ne. Want to meet me kwatina TV so abra Ghana for di ohia na benne na bebrese galamse isi waba na abrante wait TV so me gold ba akunie gold mienu nie na odi Ghana for him panyini bia ni ho from the president to council of elders etimi frɛ no kanyan sasam kyerɛ no na say kasa bi oti radio so ka ono kwa na wa bia TV stations by 5 where he got that money. Alaska going forward, I think say lifestyle dynamic your friends auditing and that kind of
sure.
And Alaska I mean can same way we see NDC are buying power and your business as usual.
That's right.
And don't expect to say obi baba nya power their bedroom class na obi no better TV so be defended. No, that will never happen.
That's right.
So all that you have to do power no Ghana for have been very magnanimous enough and I because of Nsemuna.
You hold it in the trust of
yes
people,
and you do it well. You do it with respect. You do it with recourse to Niama Mampo Nemu. And yes, it is not time to make money. The last time, a day before election, I spoke to a professor. I know Katia said, "I'm not sure about John." Let me say, oh, go and vote for him. Or one thing about him, they say, John Mama has been president before, but obey or your president now, or two choices: the choice to be Ghana's best president ever, and the choice to be Ghana's worst president ever. But the good thing is, the choice is his to make.
Wow.
And I'm sure, sir, he will make a good choice.
Exactly.
But it's up to him. So I'm sure, sir, being there before, no, he's very experienced enough. Ghana for the trust and support Ghana for when you know
because
looking at you.
Exactly because opposition, say Nana do a pack court, no.
Yes.
So say a man with 2 million you can unpack the court.
Yes. And 2 million what the man no there. It's so now na me na be ku yeso na me kasa say even Supreme Court judges and Chief Justice no and we can get them all of them out.
Oh, that's right.
I know baby Sam say how. Na me say oh mrana ye this Chief Justice na we no our constitution must have a petition, but in this particular case, any petition because to tell Alaska, all you have to do, you have overwhelming power to do constitutional amendment.
Exactly.
So you can look at their tenor. Now why stand there 1 month per now with their pim was after 2. So you can extend the constitution and get all of them out.
Oh, that's right. Which
oh, Alaska. Intermediate all other I want in say state institutions. Ghana for Benya GDA woman.
Sure.
Because court na da hono Alaska. GDA nim. Sa akwatentia da go bi omko yes or your friend parliamentary candidate e wo ho a ono nim so NPP.
Yeah, jawu.
Na we ye nipa wo conviction a. President kwa appoint no. Ka tell me say, "Oh, Alaska ye dey to da ase ye moa wo. Sabi. Na no America. Are you aware say Abrante na Trump appointed no as attorney general. The whole attorney general. And now issues be by a more erase here. Or no about catch Trump say on to me.
That's right.
Alaska. These are people or no attorney general America. Or say okay, we jai. And your chroma we bet my baby. Mesa wo ma obi 2 million na wo fa na yere kro be pan wo fa na yere because 2 million na ye hia 2 million so nya amfa nya nyansabe e je 2 million winya yamfa mra masum nipa enya sika pe for politics no person wo je wudin yi na wo je wudin a be good to people, invest in human, not in properties. Because property, no, yeah,
that's right.
We don't think about investing in people. We always want to. And then the part where we are sabi, or no, we are man. Then that person at the same time is buying properties for the same kid. And then because if you give your children some level of education, good job, you don't need to be buying properties for them because you have set them up to be successful in life. The choice is theirs to make. What does that make? But I don't say Adriano, who the womb. Nipani to me and I just say, yes, you're near Babidi. But I know I always say, I said, Kanyame, and I Ghana you to when you're when you're to me now, I just a property now, you have a contem and a mechano. Ghana for a part of this government.
Oh, that's right.
At this time, government in young Rogo, John Mahama, and Ghana for to do now support. You know, mostly.
That's right.
Or he whatever that he needs to succeed, no. I think he has it. So I think there is also a positive discretion. No making sure, say, friends, bootlickers and sycophants. Now you try Mushia. Or you press you, there be others. I started from that people.
That's right.
When you are setting up. And you set up friends, cronies, and those people. Well, we I don't know. And I could for Abrante or no nam abontenum jot or dot to Tiana, no, as I think we dear to no time no say, oh, yeah, you're saying
press secretary.
Sabi. na Gabia Saroche da kuno ne nan baby Kanoforia tanom ne nan baby na we ye nie. So Alaska, you need people who can look you in the face and say, hey, President Janko asem no Jansebunu no, because the Atu Akufo-Addo no dem pese bi beto yen enti no do the right thing. And I think that you need strong people who will be able to tell you the truth. The ugly truth now you don't want to hear. So okotena se na da bia ye budget so okana obi no agreement
That's right.
Because they don't have to be agree with you all the time. You need critical intelligent mind down there around you, because anamaka no babia amamo na ba beduru no enya ndisi bi na NPP bi mo
no
amanfo akese 40 echi o mo hwe o pressure no ba beba. Social media has become an effective tool. It can make you and not make you.
Abawe say social media.
Yes.
And radio stations are very positive media too.
Yes. And your campaign be no be and your social media advocacy, the exposure. Kevin Taylor turn the radio, so exposure say hold on and so and your campaign, but he's on radio telling people platform me, other people platform, telling people what Akufo-Addo is using our power. So you see, and because those platforms no omunkudum no.
Ivan, in fact, what raise the issue? Fine.
Okay.
You use platform way. Emma Ghana for when you're my Bonia Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Ghana for Alaska new team, including others. Your team when you did Mahamaba. Mitro platform way can say players are here the ball a year qualification series. No.
Yes.
And yes, our players in the ball major tournament.
Yeah.
The fact is that NDC abane and party interest Obiana was on your appointment.
Yeah.
Now, per as someone who can see, it shouldn't be business as usual.
No.
I was a mama ye experienced people.
Yes.
And yet way and I mean way and you know near we are not going to change.
Yes.
You know, Sabano best son because women were for Ghanaians.
Yes.
Since I see propose to be farmer abai what will you propose?
Oh, I think that's a Mexican or efficient government, Alaska. That is very, very important. And getting around these strong people who will put your ass on fire as president. They will tell you the ugly truth because it's not business as usual. Then going forward in Alaska, you see, your institutions are now got job.
That's right.
We need to make sure that we strengthen state institutions.
Overhauling.
Appointment a woman sabi enyina kwan papa so no. I say a reversing nyina na making sure say we put competent people at various positions. And ade ba ko Ghana for gina so to aba ma mahama pa ma we mfi da accountability.
Accountability.
Holding these criminals accountable. Alaska, that is a sacred your friends say foremost your friends have responsibility that has been imposed on President Mahama or renege on it. Alaska disaster will be for this government. I'm telling you. So I think that number of issues about on here and I don't know make say this elections who say a lot of people are jubilating on social media, other platforms. May say this is no jubilation because so if you do understand that the state, the critical state, Ghana woman, you only go on your knees and pray so things get better because Akufo-Addo and his government have really messed up this country up. Wasn't a joke at all. So surgery, postmortem into the real state of Ghana's economy, devoid of politics and those kind of stuff. Now you come to appreciate indeed Ghana is in a mess. So how to get up from there and make sure say we put things in order. And also the other side of it has to do with the fact that so here constitution over the years it has become a subject in a lot of debate on social media. Young people Bisa said we need to review this constitution in order to give it a certain life as a insight into the future because several portions of our constitution say our outlive usefulness and that there is the need for us as people say going forward it is important for us to update several portions of our constitution so that they're in line with current happenings and so forth. The real state of Ghana's economy be beyond the usual politics normally among for depending on where baby and the in some of the canon. The real state of Ghana's economy is not good. That is the reality because and yemen America, so here recent happenings at CCI and our have a be a Ghana Gena CCI, you know, say indeed, and Nema and Koye. But ordinary, there are certain few things, and I say very important thing as an ordinary person, when you're economist, and I say you've not delved deeper into politics, economics, and those stuff, or to anywhere said the name is around you. Now there are few indicators that one kasa betimi agina dia gauge the state of this economy. One of the critical tools over the years, I determine and I say where politics has to do with the CD dollar. The entire dollar very important. We say is the most stable currency. World global transactions it is done in the dollar. Say o currency no want me ampege na ene CD no ene dollar no differences in be quite higher. Na sa wo nyo man in terms of production, which me produce a lot of nema one kasa who use na mom or rely on foreign goods like Ghana, for instance. Majority or a lot of the things that we consume in this country, we eba. So in that instance, it means you need dollar. So whenever there is a distance between your currency and the dollar, now you know, say it will take a lot of money to do that. And I'm say currency any stable, say all the kokra name na even say bakra na a hunsem kra enye adeketwa. Yes, so so kokra nneema no na eba affect prices ema adeema no bo ekosoro, because I know people omokofa phones at the bar. Obana says dollar no eda 11 cedis. Assuming said dollar no 11 cedis. Obana obeton, there is no way that person will sell your friend saying that phone obeton equivalent in 11 cedis, because on him say nneema no be store ebeche. By the time we have a talk, I'll come back so I can find near money BM no. And I'm say your currency in your stable, not dollar and a bit me say bear 4-5 cities about home. So these people they project the prices and until or those winning expected price a increment in the dollar or the shame sabe or ton we are the nema on concoboka. And into I'm better say will be so I can find nema ba or baba ton or ton we no nisika no waboka. Because this is what happens. For instance, ukwa kofa nema na ukofa $20,000 and nema na oba then the CD equivalent na wa convert it and I would ton ube no na CD no maybe a dollar na do 15 cedis. The same $20,000 o convert it back to dollar no be ma enuru. Whenever I also na $20,000 in the crowd na abedru $10,000. Unya mo ka unya nyehwe, but CD depreciation na nkasa na ma wusika half ayira. And adeba ko a di amanfo nya over the years has to do with amanfo a omodo musika in Ghana cities ekogu bank. For instance, wo ye Ghana ni na wo do sika koto bank somewhere 2016 and 2015. That's a sika no aye 20,000 Ghana cities. Samre ya babeduru endei. Nasa by that time now convert it now benya $10,000. I'm just saying. At that time now converted sika now benya $10,000. Years after no sika now converted and we a year benya $3,000. That is how sika no losing the value. So CD dollar your friend saying kwan fa so you managing very very important. But other countries have realized the factors na emma CD ne almost sika no ne dollar no depreciating. Sometimes you may not have absolute control over. So the best way to overcome that particular challenge is or minor bashas produce with Nema. And that's exactly what China has been doing over the years. And to my culture say, yeah, you see the no a depreciate your dollar and depreciate and yes no. Oko China more most other depreciate your musicano, because China is a production hub. They produce virtually everything that is needed in China. So they don't need their citizens to buy things from outside. And this or shed that depreciating the sikana abema abonten nema boy den into win to be concoto. And I understand Ghana yet me produce ya nema o chroma sa nema kitty daily nema ye hiano I address yet me produce a chrome hire and kayen here said dollar cedi a cosro because nema na ye no ye majority of your kakrabi and a bed with frabonting. But unfortunately for us, nema to say a more and no matter say sugar and then matter say tea roll, even your friend say na onion jenny cry and then you na yakra edi frabontin about, and when you are importing these things, you do it in dollars and then as a form. It's little foreign currency now, you end up sending it away. And put pressure on it, not price, because when you have few people chasing larger number of people chasing few dollars in the system now, obviously, price in the shoot up. So with the dollar CD depreciation, the impact, is strong. And into over the years, I buy a major defense topic in our discussion, in our politics. But we never promises or babechi their common IGP and there on one JJ or maybe a do and the other side has to do with borrowing and as a binanyansa nima nipa kanya sasem omontie bosia no omo boy could do a pointer na omine ye ho hwea enye the only way betimi aka ne say yenkwa abonten ko kankyere omo aye de omo ka say hey sika ne yentumi ntuanti momfa nkwa animu mayen anase momfa bincha yen to the extent apart from say the omine no bobosia no even statutory fund over the years ya set it up by law. And we use it to finance specific things, just like get fund. Well, when I did get fund, aye ukroma say. I did get fund, aye ukroma, your school ne a home near ma. Sa fund no, ye the cockwaje, ye mortgage the quaje bosia. I ne get fund ni sike betombiani upiaka. Sana SLA energy sector levy weda buy and also was mortgage and several others. So that is the extent I can over a ball. Sabo siana de be out to say I can't want some maybe and I won't see it. Sanity Gorgana over the years and the baby a boy of Bosia, you bilateral creditors and they we away and I'm saying you move from lower middle income state, you buy a middle income state, in access to the commercial space. I know yet me cocoa flow to bond and then as a fund man, now quite a larger commercial space. People with money are ready to invest in government or are ready to buy. And when we got the take it here with me alcohol, can over buy and a honor the year Sebi Najana beer or that in a pen alcohol or that in a pen alcohol or buy the first year, the 2018, no dimmerka cohort, sir, the fence and oko resi bond be a hon samba be Ghana for Kanya said the 1 year, and no echi the following year, day first year, no kwaji, I think 2.1, the following year, or kwaji 3, or san kwaji 3 BM, or san kwaji 3 BM, and the Bosian of Bob PP so sa to the stand say, a way, no, na ukonkrata se mua, na nsema na or chokoma abontin so for the kwaji sikano. And then near man, Crata or Harne Bobra. So a man for shall say, who said, a brandy away, Conton Cranin and near my office or Bobusian and your quine papa. So I don't know, but here, those waiting agencies in the Bible, seeing who young Crata will be with your junk, nay, your fence minus way. A she a credit squad, now but from that point go, now there is no way everything a carbon, Bobusian beam. And more or less, commercial space in the hope him. A man for na yedi omo kan ye ntumi ntua obeda course of kwakwaje ena ehona president na only any other choice than to go to IMF and no more demonize IMF akan send bebre because at that point avenue bi o no kwa kobo bosia bagana bia na atua because your credit score is 0 mama abuche no you understand this when it comes to credit score abra wo minus na sefo obi eni ho de bosia be ma phone wa yagigi ukwaje kwa yemfa ma sanity is a wabo akohwibra ma usika sem ne nneema nyina atonso mti obi anye wuni sana Ghana kokoye ndi abra tama yede ye nikosi IMF so no IMF so mo jama $3 billion. The only condition is say omo yede omo ka no ye no omo nyina nkokasa na omo nya ntiase se omo do musika mayan sa nkrofo no nsore ma so mbajo musika. That is why na ye nama na ye your friends saying renegotiation with our external creditors ye wie no and omo say efiefo kra na abanya bo mo ka no kra no abanya bo mo bosia treasure bill for no mo do musika ye government investment no sa nkrofo no kra sa banka so tu omo ka sa IMF fisika no enya de se beba. So government had no other option than to come home do this the first debt restructuring with Ghana for owie no na bontin so for koye ye ehun nan bebre ehun awie ye na man nipa bebre nam so ene omonye omuwo de ko because omusika time omuhia ebi government ye ne sa ne man sa ankofo no sa plan omo life o ebinom ye businessmen omo dia man for kan na for so all of a sudden say government in sabba two sika so say matwe kwa animu because me ho kire me ntu ya you need to go and explain to ones or creditors because woyɛ government or creditor no also will be creditor as a kind of business na wode yɛ but modern na aboro nti akufo ado aban nti obiara na ɔde ne sa to saa sika we American so ɛna ɛkɔɛ ɛna IMF sha say or disburse that particular money in tranches ɛde ama yɛn ɛno akyi sika na ɛba no it wouldn't be enough saa mmerɛ no koraa no na ɔmo asase ama Bank of Ghana print sika dodo de gum because bosia akɔbɔ bosia yɛ ma the only way and they say Bank of Ghana be print sika gum enti sika no kɔ so print ya ni ba yɛ ho so no na ɛka no aginsamu a woyɛ ho hwe a enyeye and into na inflation ekɔduru somewhere around 53 because the more you print money there will be excess of cash in the system may choke the system goods and services no esua so sika wo nipa nsɛm ba nneɛma no mo de kɔtɔ no sua obviously you know say inflation will go high so prices items of we no ɛkɔ soro and at some point in time no now we heard the inflation numbers will come high na sabi time and officially market yourself say ankwasi abosan na kenofurata boy na nneɛma achichire no we declare bankrupt omo boy abosan a nsihu na ese de mo on a yearly basis no I amount to over 50 billion no yentumi ntua and also ya twen kwa animu and so opasa what the current state of Ghana's economy I don't know say this is how I met me explaining in a very simple way for you to understand say state na ye womu no it's a messy state a messy and yes ye can be akro or they have really messed up the economy of this country for real and ye joke. It is all facet of the economy. One from a car to another, a car to another, a car to Bosnia Yabo. I agree. So num over bare 780 billion. Statutory fund. I DCC come and don't forget Abraham Mahama Ohono. He set up buffers. Those buffers now are fund. I'll set it aside. To the idea or the Sikabia to her. Some of the funds in the BS stabilization fund emergency in case there are shocks that affect the Ghana economy now was setting up amount of money maybe over there $250 million or the Sako Bomi says Canubia then on the Babasha baby na Nema Airco he set up about 3 different funds for emergency purposes in Nasafonum. The very moment these people came, that is the money they started chopping and I brought more there is no single fund. Now, mine no cry a bond or say fund. Not even a single the fund is saying insurance cash and I say anything no mujano baby ya or mudi bomodia disa sikani na at the statutory fund kosisi akam kwaje bosia at the or mine ko bob bosia to the extent say ne or mine ko bankrupt e buy no mbeda ye o money see or mine japade so obeti go a japa and until an uncle more time you go into Jacosikum, you have a time diamond Jacosikum, and to by the time Uncle Kufu in the fear for or before Combianasono. Now Ghana no yet Hana China for Abasa Messayako because they are or mine the country or my toy. So what is said that beer and any pair can and yes, be now time will be. But this is the point Ghana Coco do. They really decided to mess this country up for real, not for joke. That is the real state of Ghana's economy. And I've been say, did arrogance play a role in Akufo-Addo's downfall? Oh yes, I think that arrogance really played a role because I never acquired Ghana for NTRC and say before Akufo-Addo ban. Don't forget say na a man for tagging say oh you arrogant dada. And your more than a bar na Ghana for abonagu. He contested several times. He lost all because of that particular attack. Then people decided to rebrand him. You can't hide it. So Abra Obeye president know who say that is where his real character and who he really is came to bear. And he lived it to the best indeed. You can't say Obi arrogant. This is really an arrogant person. To me, who say this person is arrogant. Typical example, we are president, in as much as you have executive power, you can exercise veto, whatever. No, Nipa and a buy. So in your relationship with Nipa, no, you need to manage it carefully. nipa because nipa omo mahem no obia okwan ofa so hu ndema. So my mouth typical example when President Akufo-Addo went to Kumasi during his infamous tour ewo Kumasi. This guy goes to Kumasi, sit on a radio station, and then your friend is saying host receive text messages from his phone, and somebody from Kwabre in this your friend saying Asante region. Asante region, I'm told is a constituency back one or move vote a move do pa Kwabre because I think 2020 the vote there NPP nyai over about 77,000 vote and almost all. So I'm gonna vote in the muye do. Then the person was asking say Nipan was asking say Mr. President Kwabre for say omo kwan omo to abama o da bia but onye kwan na ma omo as a reasonable and as a sensible president I will bro ho ase awosum nipa no. Even if you are not ready to do the road, the best thing you can do, tell them, say, oh, munya botere, but who say, abano to abamame, I was a Ghana, Jumano, a son, ye bima, obia, a yadanya, a bedu almost, and to catch almost say, omo quano, omo me baba ye. Odo no cancel baba and one may ya, obim for 2 messuso. But enam sa homaso, ni bear can kanya, ewa, a Akufo-Addo sona, or ya honshia, any gentino. He sat at the radio station, opened his mouth wide. No catch almost say, "Oh no, be to entertain no kokromoti or dear. It drew about on our to mana kokromoti no pare. Or so kokromoti no pa the ope ubit me aye, and I made they say opare so. Because the ope ubit me, I wait me a reaction. This is a precedent. Nipana omo bisa no ya people de bia omo to aba man for no cause. Because okwa Ashanti region see now kutina no kubi so say. NPP amodi achire from titibesi day. Mon kanchira me adea the party has done in this region for you. Me say adititire bia ni hom betim do mon sasi so aka say. Ye fen say NPP buy no obeye we. Mpeso bi be kan interchange asem. There is no single project papa bia betim agina ho aka say obaye. The last time I make come be so obi say Kufo maternity. Let me say mo ya mo serious. Na dey see confirm no chene kura no kura mfa mbosu na wa akosi maternity portrait we go see baby. So these are people who over the years and have been taken for granted. Mahama kwa Ashanti region ko see ultra modern medical village or afari. I'll be for 38 military hospital. Esi ho. Wanwie and anaba into koe. Akufo-Addo atimi ahwe Nyankopon wadim ama hospital na sigura ma proatete. Last time Captain Smart the cameras call ho ko twa videos na soja for chasing out no. I was on the TV. A deputy minister called on the show and said, oh, 6 months, afari, yebewie. Afari na proatete. And mfidie na se fo nyina gu ho anya se edan kekewo. By the time of, because they said this is a medical villager for medical tourism, your friends said research and everything was there. And hwe so respect for the people of Kumasi that omo to abama yamo so they should enjoy it till date. Papa nantimi anye ehwo hwe. And apart from this, there are several other hospitals. Inina wajaya mana say, now call na yibisa say, a dear na be yakwamawa. This is the on semi free nanum okachromo. So ubisa say arrogant, a play roar. Go and check the number of voter President Akufo-Addo enyana kwabre in 2020. Now come back to 2024 way. He lost vote no difference in about 13,000 votes. The Olusu flat. For Sansem who no catches uncle for no. It might be for several reasons, but what I know they say at that time he got about 77,000 is thereabout, and this time I think was it 62 or something. Yes, you can do the math and see. Say he lost a significant number from Kwabre because of this assembly okay. Again, the same president in a call voter region yase and ose ochia ahemfo na ahemfo tete ho. Anya Akufo-Addo anka me hu bi da say yetimi kanchiro obi say sorry na hu say mechiaw at least say one notice sa na ma no kra na nipa na wo no monam obetimi aka wu obi asom aka chen say onko kanchira ahemfo no say omu hu say wo ba omo sorry say no public ne yente but to get in front of ahemfo asabi omo na ye traditional rulers and unze when you through age, why people sit down, it could be for several reasons. Ebia na mpanimfo wa wunim obi o wanom na duro na aba na nisukura chini no obi o ha onhyada ntia posa na nasefo no. So these are people uno mo ya you need to be very 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 cautious. But President Akufo-Addo amfa nani anto nti e ka so obi ye arrogant na omunipa. That is how you see it. Koka chiro mo so mo sorry na mo nchia no na ono ba no mo nyehu se na odin se pempem de bo thinking say ofrisuru ne tu besi Ghana konwa no so anye nipa na to abama no. But this is the same guy who in 2016 was just gallivanting, walking around town on a ma ADD or bomb mati. Because I need na crocodile the John and all ye or that man for Babaji foot. Only and I'm saying Ghana for so we do na ya meaning no and I had quarter 2 million at the share, yet the share. 2 million in Sakan, ya no say mo Jimmy Metchiramupa, and that is exactly what he has been doing. And you say you throw him be men pass some hene and they about TV so be a shaby. And Mwasi odi gu papa no say a bona anthem oti ho. And Amaka say papa no later or say ono kwa betena de na say for almost 2 hours e be twen president ma. O e panyini wanyini at a time no say brena wa bro say de yo. There are nice ways a bit in the panaka, but at the end of the day and na president ni da na di no e ma ne be ye nkwasem e wi e kra na people were not even blaming the chief. Number because we are president, you're supposed to act in a very dignified manner. Emotions are very, very important. How you control yourself. How asema ya bufu kwanya bafa so obetima control ho na waka amana ye we no. These are very, 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 very important things. But Akufo-Addo no sa na money bia no nya de se we se e fa no enti no okaye anche na no na yere oso wasidan ama na yere okokola nche ye bo the same national anthem uhu de na ba ye the same na ba na kofa American rapper e man could defy the ye fancy the sanctity of the Jubilee House cause tam camera ko run inside or ekoye music video e with the seat of the president e wo kroma say till date Akufo-Addo in the family the decency to apologize to Ghanaians kurana be seen ne want to me apologize to Ghanaians abrantia no be yes no abra okọ social media ohun se Ghana for ekasa sa abrantia no kurana amanfo fi se oya rofian no ehu nyansa the pa Ghana for chew se ona onim and also you can't blame him because people gave him access but those who gave him the access to date have not seen the sense in it to come and apologize to Ghanaians. So arrogance edi ninya because na meka no Bawumia na order paper no so na Ghana for no mo nhyeda ne Bawumia ni asem saa o even though Bawumia de no ye incompetence or your trofo saa asem no because of ono suban bia wada na bi but Bawumia is not somebody a mebetimi atan aka say arrogant no Bawumia is not somebody you can say oya ahomaso no obia wone de ba ono ne de no da nya ahomaso na saa ne ma no enti obisa no wo tu atia na nya abufu na obi a wama no ho so na wo to abatia na wo de abufu na ni gie tutia no and de na esanka ho na tan de na eka ho na tan pa na ye akwa na omkofa na betare ne ho ye se friend na pose hwan no ene da bia meka se so wo hwan Akufo-Addo fa so obu o man say ya de se or more respect for the people of this country. I am not sure say anybody on his right senses will even think say young kofa na pope and may no running mate. Ko man no de ye de maamo de omatete pansam no na ade ba ko da Ghana for no bia kan ye arrogance, impunity, disrespect, total disregard for law and order. Na obekọ no wosinya kwa akofa the friend say arrogance mo kenkon, arrogance mo campaign. Say oyo ono kwa da nya arrogance ke o kasa na ye kasa kwa no onim kasa. This is a branch here no the biggest political day in his life. Aye manhia abra ye kwalanche no he used the day to create a scandal for himself. Enti ade che no na adina ye koda na di no obi anka ho asem ensem hu no okoka na ase e na be the topic of the day. There is something most of you didn't notice. Unim say NPP for final rally na omokoye ye ewo ye friend say ayawa so West Wagon no. Omo ma ne po ankasa. Maybe madwan ko ho. Nke eba na say na yekoye elections. Presidential election the following day. Final rally. The nipa ne hu hia on that day so kasa mani party na numa sem the flag bearer and then the running mate. NDC for the no koye Professor Nana James kasa and sana President President Mahama ebe kasa. Because that has always been the convention. And we'll go back to final rally since 1992. Basically, now, all the time you have running mate talking, and then your friend is saying, Kansana candidate na bekasa. NPP for a man upon kasa I was and I say because they knew say the microphone shana no kujina ho pe vote no mwenya no obeti be 1 million the free so. Which means in some na ye can no enye ye na ye tan no but omo ankasa last minute ni hu say no akwa we nkanya asasam ye ma no kwan a obehye ye vote. And on that special occasion, that special day, NPP4 didn't allow him to speak at the rally. Final day. And the arrogance there, a kahubi, and intina, as la usunin as a phone call if you who's a month for a body day. Cause a Ghana for a Ghana of a fadia, nipa de to me mawa. Ya the sum nipa. Yem fine yet a cassam na hand time and me do so and I me minimyansa chain what kind of attitude then as a form. No, I quanya na wenya, bro once enough assume nipa. And the adeno cobonia, you listen to people. Because I want to ask no tea and someone any pair come on for a trauma drain, just and some no can I feel crown more yamana way. And this arrogance, no. And they did more ne. Ye dear baby we baby ye. Obviously, what do you expect changes at the EC and the judiciary? Why not? I do. Because my culture says in every democracy, the most important thing has to do with the institutions of state. There must be no compromises. And at any point in time, citizens must have absolute and unwavering trust and confidence in state institutions. So, state institution at any point in time will either do the right thing or exercise a positive discretion. State institutions remain neutral, independent, and unbiased in its dealings. But say beduru we bi na manfo nya your friend is saying nema bi say state institution or more ye adwuma for kwaku ana asumasia a portended danger and a threaten the foundations of our democracy. And in the last 8 years, I think that is what has happened. Or the Electoral Commission, Subayo modernity in recent time, anya yet to by way as I see recollation. I know Sabi a press conference be a bossman as by no. If you go back to 2020, similar things here, these people came and say, Omo declare we Omuntimenya Honshe, one Tiasa Masa court. Then today it is NDC. They win the election. The Electoral Commission can say, "Or not, nakra and nullify election." You have to the chimay. More bodam. And I make us say NDC for your mistake. Now, omo say for any recollection be na and then na omwana omunye serious for power. Because once an election has been declared at the constituency, it is done. On Tiasia court. It's as simple as that. Electoral Commission in Accra ain't need to nullify or be vote. See, I no making any provision for Electoral Commission to nullify or be vote. EC officials and your political party in a year declaration. And again, I say EC official be say or declare election under duress. When somebody declares an election under duress, it doesn't mean that someone can no correct. Yakase obi a declare election under duress. It doesn't mean that it could be that you were not ready to say and you were forced to say, but it does not nullify and there is no even evidence because obi obi. So at the end of the day, all these are matters. Constitution are making it quite clear. You go to the High Court and settle. So for anybody to sit somewhere and conceive, say, No. That cannot be done. That's not right. And political parties involved must resist this thing. Unless maybe they think that they've got enough numbers into, the other kind of. And that would even very much disappointing, because you see, I never amount for notice with this parliamentary numbers, say nanti through social media now monitor the waves prior to the elections now. One thing another very key has to do with constitutional amendment. Over the years, adeɛ baako a ayɛ den ama yɛ paa need to amend the constitution. So you have a presidential candidate, President Mahama, who promises Oba he will do his best to amend the constitution. That's nice. Ghana for agya to Momokoto Abaman. Fortunately for him, he's at the verge of securing 2/3 of parliament. A significant number. Ubetimi at the undertaking constitutional amendment be apart from your friends and trench clauses and that's for my home. No. You can amend a significant portions of this constitution. So it means that whatever any constitutional amendment be a president a promises obey what can obey biano. Ghana form an absolute numbers to do that. So the NDC having more numbers, has to do with the numbers to do the constitutional changes. So it didn't just happen. So today, number of we are here to do most of the changes in our constitution will dwell on this number, which Ghanaians have given to the party to use it to do, so that we can breathe certain air of hope into the constitution, so that in our takeoff, we know say indeed in semna can abam. So that is it. Enti me baby ameti sa wo he kwan a electoral commission for conduct omo ho a trust a Ghana for what institution no we need to address it, and the trust has to do with personalities especially circumstances a President Akufo-Addo fa so a okofa sa ankrofo we e de omo baaye, the partisan inclination of some of them, how deep-seated and neck-deep some of them are into partisan politics. Their uncanny association with some within this power that be, and this easiness on their part to flex their muscles to favor somebody. Elections way, we were lucky, said Dr. Baumia, at the early stage about Bejitum. He saved Ghana a lot of chaos and then that's a for them. Because I had the attitude of Jermaine Sane Bosman said they're not no more yena. Now they were not ready to call the elections because constituency they are not doing it. Then I listened to a very funny argument from one journalist say, Electoral Commission, you can't blame them because now your party supporters and AKOBC offices no more. That's a very good argument to make. But the question is, when was the last time I heard election with Kuruma political party supporters Akogu EC offices? When? It means the basic element of trust didn't exist. People didn't trust the EC because prior to elections, so everything that they did pointed to and a commission that was ready to rig election in somebody's favor. So people were very aggressive. People were very defensive and very bracey had to match the electoral commission boot for boot. So even some folk go AC officer, they didn't just go there, they went there because of the previous conduct and the position of electoral commission identity. So they caused and you Ghana for because you talk about who's a man for go easy. So as actions do have consequences. So what happened and yet in isolation? A Subanya Electoral Commission a dandy over the years so we need a lot of electoral reforms going forward. And one important thing here may has to do with political parties danchemu political parties are omo business no more ye a omo be wuram party office na se for kro munni bi do elections a na omo de nam amanfo so ejiji sika just to finance them for way no. And I'm like, oh, some of these things you don't see. But political parties may contest for power now. So a business for a man for Okroma saying. Because most of the parties you see are proxies of some of the bigger political parties. They sponsor them, they buy them cars, and then as for them to do everything for them. So what would think and what say who party get one or more business no more, they are not contesting for any elections. So going forward, we need to strengthen the law. Now you're making sure, say obiso a political party or a contestia. All the requirements in nipa no meet. But and I'm say electoral commission cannot create no more business no more nam ho more yentino. Some of these things happen and then that is it. A jigu. And I think that is one thing that we need to look at very critically. And then the judiciary is the same thing. A hokra there time. A there time. A hona kufu adu din in same nyina. Or here for former parliamentary candidates in as for yes, so why your most Supreme Court judges. Judges yes, akogu bench so Ghana for can and yet Supreme Court on High Court and Appeals Court in our packing in over 120 something judges and they just say time. And Nipano, what's an profile some of them are. You'll be shocked where they are coming from. Their loyalties, their allegiance, and those kind of stuff. They say airtime. So this is something that we need to. They say anya witch hunting, obi and time we are building a country. But we see we need to also build trust in our state institutions. So we are ordinary Ghanaian be trusted. Because for the past 8 years, said the court was said dear Mia Ukrumha, social media ruling be a team be a subject of public mortification. Everybody talking about it, ridiculing either the Supreme Court judges, insulting, just airtime. So I think, sir, the EC and the Electoral Commission and the judiciary, we need to. But we need to do in-depth review of individual background checks and as a I think we need to whip a lot of them out. Because their continual stay, will continue to dip morale in our democracy.
Sir, the two and now share in Kunya Papa. See her, the set. Men how share video na say. Me and J whom the number over. Fa na contact ye. Na ye more direction no. Meaning say at the papa bia ebe bohu da we are for Ken TV bia no. Ye ka say e ye nokre a ya hwehwe ma hunu nti e na ye bohu da we. Enti nyame adom ye ma me nso so no o support Kennedy compare kwa Japan. Or you business woman. Enti mo ye nyina ye support the business women almost support to Kenya Japan na omo business no enko so enti we dey need kwan so mensa da mensa yam se open konwa set atop agu fee ana se wadwumam aye E&J home decor we dey fa number na frɛ the be more direction but your own person be ba hampa ya nkasa de bugu kamu na ya be abrɛw when say we are for Ken Ghana for no beboa ama your mama business no akoso for any inquiries with your phone number no yeah we are for Ken you say ade aye bohu da robia no your papa asemba come and hold us responsible.
So say you say same fefe if Royal Gallery wo opekuma and into jema me number no ni ndin kita wo dem 0537 3145 46 0537 314546 na man na me de atudwa ama no from ma me no ne ndin kitawde so opese ye sese wo ba na onfanya na ye flo ana se ye sese wo ba na onfanya bibi e fa na nanom ne ehema asem ho ende me kanfo Royal Gallery e de ama se from no ne omundin kitawde ombe sese wo ba no so de ye bibi e wo school ana se mpo wo to e de amuna wo nua e wo amunane ana se wankasa wo to na wa ton baby biala wo biala free delivery baby bia wo won sebeka se wo Ghana ha se wo amunane baby bia wo bia wo fra maami a wo ne bedin kitawde na wo so be sese na wo ba no na wa ye feye papa.
The foundation of every kid's education is important to every parent. That is why Leap International School is here to give your kids a solid foundation. The school that cares about its environment and seeks to transform it is one that cares about the education and well-being of its kids. The school has a playing ground, a bus to convey the kids in and out of school, as well as a well-furnished facilities and resources to groom the kids to future leaders. Not forgetting the well-learned teachers that are patient with the kids to ensure understanding is easy. They are located at Amanfrom off the Pokwasi Amasamango. For more information, call 0246 928 031 or 0246 098 067. Be part of a school that leads, learns, evolves, acts, and develops through sound education. Lead International School, the next leaders.
School na batan biara de ne baro ko hono ni yo. Oye Rainbow Montessori International School. Yeah. Rainbow Montessori International School. What you from Kratchi? Because JHS. The Rainbow Montessori International School from ana. What been wrong? What's the what the Montessori curriculum in a syllabus? No what the children are the teachers wo hona. When you know why degree holders what the abutana badoyan what the trauma from anadio. Na Rainbow Montessori International School. Wakitaba funyoman what the trauma from anate. It's your mama from an not doing boy wrong. Wakita ultra modern science laboratory, computer laboratory, library and research center, art and sculpture laboratory, hygienic canteen, now for a clinic. Na moye nika 1 point there. Rainbow Montessori International School. Oye boarding house. Inyo into onfahu baby awo biara. Wawo from anu batuma ba school. Onfahu there watakwa. Takrade, Elibo, Cape Coast, Accra, Kumasi. One boarding house facilities now. Oye modern standard. Na wo wahwefu papa. It's a house master and house mistress. What you want to a boarding house no? It's a new Robiara, Bambo, another security no see sure. It is Fuabo from Manebra. The Ebehu Rainbow Montessori International School. It was Takwa in Soyem, opposite police station. It is a Ubaba Rainbow Montessori International School. To what you nada? Was an Wabat Shana the Papa. Emanazamsna. What Charo 111. It's a quad mission form. It was Hantaman Raban. What Takwa Soyem branch. Frayane 0277 100 823. Rainbow Montessori International School. In Moframa one that in a one fapim. Oshasuaha. It's a Hana Bartan Biara. Ordinary from a river.